everyone. Hello and welcome to the MegaMonsterCast, where today we are talking about Ultraman Arc Special Episode 3 to everyone at Skip Hoshimoto City Branch. This is the third special episode. It's the third clip show episode about where we have the one dude who keeps getting transferred further and further away.
Because he's a burden on Skip.
Yeah, but in a way, he's failing up because each time he gets transferred, he winds up at like a better place. Like now he just works at a resort. Like Skip's like, no, we're gonna just have you work at this resort and you're gonna be there to like help people relax when they get burned out. We also get
A new
a
Yuppie.
we get a Yuppie that clearly learned Japanese and was not just programmed with it, which is a weird and very like kind of off-putting, but in an interesting way concept. Like it doesn't like it has an American accent, kind of.
Yes, but by far this is the best one we've got.
Oh yeah, easily the best one. I didn't mind the angry one though. I liked the angry one too,
I did too.
but this one's the best.
Yeah, like if we could have gotten this one as our normal one, I
Oh, that would have been
would have
fun.
been great.
I would have loved that because this guy seems like he's fun. Like this is the first one that I'm like actually a fan of, and I genuinely think would be a good addition to this franchise because he's just so like
Yeah.
his mannerisms are so funny and strange because he is just supposed to be an American like who learned Japanese basically. I don't know. I dig it a lot. I think it's a fun,
Yeah.
silly
Yeah,
concept.
I definitely dig this one too.
Mhm. Yeah. So like the last couple of these we've had, it's mostly flashback to previous things with like intercut scenes of this one dude who keeps getting moved further and further away from the action, and this other UP member, well, this other UP bot, which, again, this never says this is set in Hawaii, but I'm like pretty sure this is Hawaii, right?
That's what I assumed.
Like the way he's dressed, the way
The
it treats it,
lay.
the fact that this is like clearly an American UP, like this is Hawaii. I also love how like expressive this UP is. Like he talks with his hands, and he's got this fucking like he looks like he's like. Have you ever met like? And this is potentially like a little on the borderline of racist. Have you ever met like an old Cuban man?
Yes.
Yeah, like he gives me like old Cuban dude vibes too, like the hat, you know?
Yeah.
Like
It's honestly, yeah. I had a buddy, and his dad was from Cuba. Yeah, it was pretty dead on.
yeah, yeah, like I got strong like Cuban dude vibes, which is fun. Again, like this is gonna spoiler for everyone. This is another episode where we're really not gonna have a whole lot to say because I mean like 90% of this episode is just clip show, but it's kind of fun. We get like those little moments where like the one guy's like upset that he keeps getting moved further and further away from the action, and we get that like little moment where he's like, "Oh, maybe someday I'll be able to like use this position to help like reinvigorate Arc."
Mm.
And then like I
Take
watched,
my charge.
yep. Um, God, that was so weird. Um,
It was.
but I don't think you did, but I watched the dubbed version too, but with the subs. Something I really liked about this one was the subs are all the subs for the original Japanese track, and then we just have an English commentary track on top for the dub.
Yeah, I did not watch that. Like the moment I heard his voice, I turned it off. I just went straight to the sub.
Oh, and I will say there's like large chunks where he doesn't talk at all. because again, they don't have anyone for him to talk to. Like the first episode, they had him talk with somebody, and
Yeah.
so then they like had things to say and bounce off of each other. And for this one, again, like the last one, he doesn't have anyone to talk to, so it's just like, all right, I'll say something. I don't really have anything to say here, so I'm just gonna kind of let it pass. All right, now it's been like 4 or 5 minutes. I have something to say again. I'll talk about this.
Hooray!
Yeah. Again, we get a lot of like little recappy stuff, kind of setting up like what's happened so far as a reminder. But considering we watch these episodes at least 2 times and we talk about these episodes too, like I didn't need a reminder of like I needed a reminder for names of things like the Zesu Gate, but I didn't need a
Hmm.
reminder of like what it was. I didn't need a reminder of any of the characters. Like, it's good to have it there, especially like maybe if someone jumped on midway through the show. But whatever.
Um,
Yeah, it's kind of a nothing episode.
yeah, it's it's weird that they kind of just spoil the movie.
Yeah, that is a weird choice. It's because they do talk about like, oh, and there's a black arc, and it's like, oh, okay, so the movie takes place sometime before this, which means anything that happens after, like, which means nothing in it can happen that has any lasting ramifications for these last 2 episodes. And I don't know, like there's always there's two directions you can take with a movie. Either set it during the show so you don't know for sure how the show can end because oh, then it can't possibly be like, well, he survives because he makes it to the movie. But then your movie can't have any stakes and nothing new can be introduced in it. Or
Yeah,
you set the movie after the show, but then you know that, oh, well, all these characters have to survive the end, and then we don't really have stakes as much for the ending of the show itself. I don't know. Again, just something I was thinking about watching this. But yeah, whatever.
yeah. Even if it's like even if it does like take place after the series, like this still sets this up as like this is after the movie.
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I feel like
It's confusing.
the movie had honestly the movie probably had to have taken place like maybe around episode 22 because obviously it couldn't have taken place after 23 and before 24. So like 23, 24, and 25 have to happen after the movie. And like maybe we'll get like some interesting like philosophical stuff because of it, but I don't like
Oh God, I just thought what what if episode 25 isn't the actual finale and they make the movie the finale where we finally get the real end game boss?
we can't talk too much about that. If we do that, we'll spoil shit for Alex. Uh Spoilers for the fans out there. You 3 to 7 people.
And we love every one of
Oh
you.
no, like for real, I do appreciate it. Like every now and then we get like 6 or 7 people watching the episode and like, oh, I feel important. And then we'll
Good
get like
game.
a string of like, well, no one wanted to watch the last 3 episodes that we posted. But yeah, no, it's spoilers for everyone. We're doing Neon Genesis Evangelion after
That's
this. Um, we've already started recording a few episodes, so you guys are aware. So our recaps of that will come out after our run on Arc and a couple of other special episodes. Specifically, Josh and I still need to record this. The Blazar episode and a from the Vaults Classic that we recorded that I've been holding on to for a rainy day, our Dragon Ball Z Lord Slug special,
Hell yeah.
which we recorded months ago.
I still think you need to hold on to it for like 5, 6 years. We look visibly older now,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're just like boom, little
Uh,
baby us.
mm, I don't know. We'll have to see. We have a couple others that I want to record. We could do that with a couple of those other ones because we do. I do want to hit a few of the other Dragon Ball Z movies. But yeah,
Yeah,
we get like a lot of recap in this one. We recap the Blazar crossover too, which
best crossover.
oh yeah, and I'll say like it was a solid crossover. I'm gonna say this though, Josh. We have not gotten to what I consider to be the best crossover. We will not for a while. We will eventually, not yet, because there is
The
a
only thing,
damn good one that's in the on the
uh,
horizon.
the only thing that could probably been better, it would have been Blazar and Ultra Seven just committing war crime after war crime.
Yep. So tune in for when we talk about fucking Ultraman Orb the movie, which is coming out at some point. I don't remember exactly when that one's being released, but soonish.
God, there's so much bombing in
Yep.
God, there's a
Yeah.
lot of innocents dying.
hmm Yeah, we get like some again, it's mostly a recap episode. The guy that they have for the commentary does bring up some like interesting points. I do recommend like I know that you kind of skipped it, Josh. Like I recommend watching the dubbed version with subtitles because you get the story of the subbed version still, and you get the experience of him bringing up like his own views on a few things. Like he was way more he enjoyed the King of Mons episode a lot more than we did.
Mm,
Yeah. I felt like it was a little ham-fisted, but he seemed to appreciate the message behind it more.
interesting.
hmm
It's okay
I,
for him to be wrong.
yeah. I will say, the Man in the Mask episode, he was like very glowing about too.
Oh God, it was the best one for Arc yet.
Oh, dude, yet I think it's just going to be the best episode of Arc. I think that's the most creative episode that we're gonna get out of this show. Yeah. Um, Not a whole lot to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're about 15 minutes in, which is what I thought we would get out of this. Any thoughts that you want to bring up before? Well, I should
Oh,
say, going into the last two episodes, it looks like Swede, the our cutie honey herself, is going to be at least the villain of the next episode, maybe the main villain.
until the movie
hmm
when her boss finally shows up and we get the overarching enemy.
Yep. But
I'm
yeah,
calling it now.
yeah. I mean, I know other people will see this later on. I know that we have all like you, Alex, and I have talked about this show just doesn't have a whole lot when it comes to stakes.
Yeah.
Like the stakes are very low because they can't really, do much with like a villain. Like it seems like Swede was kind of their way of like, okay, let's at least try to establish a villain like part way in, so it's not like pulled out of nowhere when we get our actual villain moment from her. But again, it just doesn't feel earned.
Yeah. No, not yet. Or I don't think it probably will.
No. I mean, again,
It'll
um,
probably be like a satisfying ending. It
yeah.
just I don't know.
I like. I've been comparing this show a lot to Ultraman X. I think going into the last couple episodes, I feel very justified in that. I've talked with you about Ultraman X a little bit. X is an Ultraman show about a scientist member of a defense force who's um, the host of an ultra who uses armors as his main his main form transformations, who had no real strongly established antagonist until the very end.
Uh,
It's this show is a I love X. Like Arc is maybe a slightly better written X, but like I don't think it's going to hit the but I think like X, it's not going to hit the ending very well. I think it's going to end up being kind of a forgettable show like X was.
damn, and that's kind of a shame because this show started off kind of strong.
Oh, I would say very strong. Like there were a lot of really interesting things they did at the start of this show. But I mean, that's just something that happens. Sometimes you end up
Nature of the
running out of
beast.
steam. Yeah, like you run out of steam, or in this case of this show, they had a lot of really creative ideas for how to shoot things early on, and then it sort of just went back to a normal show, which isn't bad, but when you start on such a high like this one did with like the continuous shot timer fight or the camera like the found footage camera shots like when it's so creative to start with and then it goes back to a more traditional show, it kind of steals some of the thunder. Well, it's not steal. It kind of takes some of the wind out of your sails, going from oh this is a really cool to oh this is good but normal.
Yeah.
But yeah. Um, anything else you want to say before we call this one?
Nope. I said my piece. I made my prediction for the ending.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens. Anyway, tune in next time for when we talk about episode 24 and find out what's going on with Ark disappearing. Bye bye.
And stay tuned for me torturing Nick with Gamera episode 5.
That will eventually come out. Yes, this is also farther out than this episode. All right. Bye bye.